welcome to episode 6000 of the Shower Party Podcast. Today we're joined by Flat Stanley. He's been around the world and back again, and we're going to ask him all of the deep, intimate questions on figuring out how racist he is. Flat Stanley, the man known to go transcontinental, we're going to ask him what his least favorite country is, and also his least favorite race. Flat Stanley, thank you for joining us. I am the Joe Rogan of inanimate objects. Next we're going to be bringing in the Pringles can. What races have put their penises inside of you, and which one felt the best? All the inanimate objects of our childhood, Capri Suns. Whose penis fits best in a Capri Sun? I have been thinking personally, I do want to gain 600 pounds. I think that's the only way I could convince my girlfriend to let me be a stay-at-home boyfriend, is if I gain 600 pounds and I'm physically not able to work anymore. I just need to convince her to feed me copious amounts of food until I am the size of this room. I think if I do that, I can stay home all day, Googling more racist things to say on the podcast, like, Flat Stanley, which country was the stinkiest? That way I have a little bit of motivation behind my questioning to my guests. I think that's the only way I can become a stay-at-home dad, if I'm like 600 pounds. My girlfriend just feeding me grilled cheese all day long. We have kids. I can't technically get up to take care of the kids being a stay-at-home dad. However, what I can do is train our kids very young to make me grilled cheese so we can continue the cycle to make me 600 pounds for the rest of my life. I teach our 6-month-old child to put cheese, bread, and butter all together, put it on a raging hot skillet, and make it for me. He will get burned. That's just the life you gotta live with a 600-pound dad. If you want to have a good dad that's home and present, you gotta make him grilled cheese, get burnt a little bit. If it's too hot in the kitchen, get out. We'll have another child that'll make me my grilled cheese. That actually is what sudden infant death syndrome is just that fat guys are making their kids make grilled cheeses way too young. It's not sudden. It was the cheese got on them, and then they ate them. Because a newborn child is roughly the size of a grilled cheese that I find very appetizing. One thing I do want bigger on me, and I've talked about this plenty of times, but I think I have a plan of action now. I need bigger hands for business endeavors. Imagine me going to a comedy show and I shake the hands of the headliner and I say, see how big my hands are? Imagine this around the mic and how infuriated you'll be with me showing how big my hands are. I just can grab their entire hand in my palm of my hand. If I gain 600 pounds, see the thing about all the tips and tricks about increasing your hand size I've seen online is that you need a 5-gallon bucket of rice. I'm going to fill that bad boy up. I'm going to be doing all the exercises. However, there's a limit to that. My bones are still the size of a 225-pound man. I can only grow so much in my hand size, you know? And also, like the lengthening of the fingers, that needs to happen. What I can do, if I do gain the 600 pounds, when you get so fat, your skeleton gets a little rearranged. Your knee bone might be where your thigh bone is, you know what I mean? So if I get so fat that my hands just naturally, in the jello of my fat, start moving apart from each other, I think I can then start doing my hand exercises at 600 pounds. Really get in there with the rice. The rice is really key in my hands. I don't know what it is about rice, but I guess it makes your hands bigger. But if I do that, I can eventually grow my hands to be about 10 inches long. I want my fingers to be 10 inches long. I want to be Slender Man. I want to be able to go up to kids in the woods and be like, you should kill yourself right now. I want to be able to tell them what to do with their life. I want to say, hey, you should stab your friend about 47 times in the chest. I think that's what you should be doing. I'm leaving notes for you in the playground to tell you exactly what to do with your life. First off, stab your friend 47 times in the chest. Next step, get caught by the police and tell them about me. Tell them that Slender Man did this. The girl that did do that, I don't know if she was tried as an adult or what, but she was in a psychiatric facility. She still is. You can tell because they shave her head like they're about to lobotomize her. She has fully shaved head. She's coming out saying, like, I no longer think Slenderman is telling me to do anything. But they don't let her out because you never know what video games might do to a young child's mind. But it is fun that you can just say, "Hey, Freddy Krueger told me to assault my parents," and you just get put up into a facility with like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Anyway, enough of this life advice. In other news, I was watching this show called like Flea Market Flop or Flea Market Flip or something like that, where they take stuff from flea markets and they make it look better. Like they basically ruin it by adding paint to nice wood and then putting a zebra print fabric on it. But essentially, this is hosted by a news anchor, Lara from Good Morning America. And she starts off the show by saying she leads a double life. First, not the first introduction you want. Hi, I'm Laura Ingram, and I lead a double life. On the weekends, after I'm done commentating on conservative news, I go home and I let my husband and his buddies butt fuck me all weekend long. I'm Laura Ingram, and I live a double life. Not only do I give you the news and tell you what Trump's up to 5 days of the week, but then I go home and I have my own fun. I go home and I put my husband with a trash bag over his face. I put him down on the ground. I shit on his head for an easy cleanup. He calls me his little doggy, and those are our little doggy bags. I'm Laura Ingram with the news. I wanted to let you guys get a little personal with me. Not only do I tell you the news and the happenings in the world, but then I go home and I have a black man have sex with me until my boyfriend comes. Notice how I said boyfriend, not husband. I have a husband, boyfriend, and a bull. I have a collection of men going on in my homes when I'm not delivering the news to your home. When I'm not on Fox and Friends, what I do is I go home. I shit into a box. I send it to Obama's direct address, and he opens it and I come to it. I masturbate to the news headline that Obama has been sent a shit box by Laura Ingram. I'm arrested, but the whole time I'm coming in the courtroom. The whole time I'm in that courtroom, they're making sketches of me. They're showing pictures of my shit in Obama's face when he opened it. Somehow they got a candid shot of Barack Obama opening up the parcel of shit that I sent to his home. And little do they know, I'm using the Tim Misny pen, because Tim Misny is my lawyer. I'm using that pen and playing with my clitoris underneath the courtroom table. I do feel like the life of a news anchor, a disgraced news anchor, is going down into AM radio and having callers call in every day. Just absolutely mentally ill callers every day that are going to argue with you about the local laws about fines associated with not mowing your lawn. That is the everlasting hell that news anchors go into after a sexual misconduct allegation. Like Matt Lauer, no one's heard from him since. Obviously, he's on some local Akron, Ohio AM radio station just talking to all these guys about how it is an issue that the government is telling us when to mow our lawns. The city council is going to be hearing from Matt Lauer. The thing about it, if you want to be a little sex pest, national news is not the place for you. You're going to get found out. There's a lot of interns, a lot of NBC pages in and out of there all year long. There's going to be one person that's loose-lipped, and they're going to spill some of your secrets that you have a locking mechanism on your door. The trick is, if you want to get away with this, be a local AM radio show host. And who's going to, out of your 10,000 listeners, who's going to care that you have a lock on the door? You know? Speaking about the uber rich and famous guys out there, Jeff Bezos just had his wedding, and there's a big hubbub about Sydney Sweeney being invited to the wedding. This is not where the hubbub should be. There's going to be actors, there's going to be famous people at a billionaire's wedding. The party favors alone is enough to get me there. But the thing you should be wondering is, why does Jeff Bezos have a 3-day-long wedding? I could get a Glock to kill myself from Amazon Prime faster than his wedding completed. You know what I mean? You should not be having a 3-day-long event where billionaires are all gathered. The risk of a sexual assault goes up 15% per hour for the duration of a billionaire's wedding. Are you telling me Robert Kraft is going to just bide his time waiting for his next handjob? No. He's going to go up to the lowest level celebrity actress that's there, and he's going to be like, hey, you should tug me off. That's what you should be doing right now. Robert Kraft is not going to be waiting 3 days so he could start assaulting on his own, on the home team advantage. He's not going to go back to his office. He's out in the wild. He's got visitors disadvantage. The crowd is against him. He's going to go up to a low C-level actress that's got an Amazon Prime show that no one's ever heard about, and he's going to be like, hey, me and you should go to the bathroom, do a little coke, and you should tug me off real quick. It's a PR nightmare to have a 3-day-long wedding, especially when you have a foam party. He went onto his yacht and had a foam party where they put foam everywhere and hide these billionaires' genitalia, where they're obviously going to be jerking off with Dish Dawn soap bubbles. Going to a billionaire's wedding as an also billionaire is trying to, it's like when the tap and pay like credit cards came out initially. You're gonna tap and you're gonna pay real quick. You're gonna just start paying a publicist to lessen the repercussions of your actions real fast. I'm Laura Ingram, and I live a double life. I go to billionaires' weddings, such as Jeff Bezos, and I try to get other billionaires to solicit me for sex in a very uncomfortable manner. No conversation forward to precede it, just an initial of, hey, you're a B-level news anchor? Do you want to tug me off in the bathroom? What does a registry for the wedding of Jeff Bezos look like? Is it just like shit that I've never even... he's just asking all these billionaires to give him nuclear codes as a funny little joke. He's like, hey, can anyone get a hold of Trump and just give me a nuclear code? I just kind of want it to framed above my office, just so that I can say that I have it. It's got to be wild shit. It's got to be like an all-inclusive trip to an island owned by a private individual. Last name ends with Steen. An all-inclusive resort-like scenario. I think it's just, it might be private islands. Or now that our buddy is dead, why don't we start this thing back up? I think the news cycle has run its course on Jeffrey Epstein. I think it's time for Jeff Bezos to be in the news for a little bit. It's a fun argument that I've been having with my girlfriend. Whenever she says that something bad is probably going to happen due to my actions, I say, well, I'm God. And then she says, what? And I say, prove me wrong. I say, prove me wrong. Prove to me that I'm not God. No, tell me, nothing bad is going to happen, because the only reference to the universe that I have is my own, and that means that I'm a god. No, everyone else is fake, and nothing is real, but I'm God in this scenario. I am the only omniscient being, and nothing bad is going to happen to me. Everyone else is just fake. No one else has any life experience. They just come into my life, do their thing, and then they go outside of my view and just wait until the next time I'm supposed to come into encounter with them. Nothing bad will ever happen to me, because I'm God. Anything bad that's ever happened to me in my life is because I put it there. I willed it to happen so that I could have, some experience in this life. But that's just the will of God, me. So next time you have a fun little disagreement with your girlfriend, she says no, the rent is gonna go up, we're gonna lose our deposit. You just say, no, I don't think that's gonna happen, because I'm God and I wouldn't let that happen. Send your girlfriend into a philosophical but also introspective nightmare, because philosophically she will be intrigued, because that is a nice philosophical, thinking that, oh, I guess I can't disprove that he's God, but also she's going to start thinking, is this guy a narcissist? Does he actually think this, or is he just goofing off? Because it might be a little bit of both, but we'll have to wait a couple years to find out, to see when he traps me with marriage, and then I find out that he actually was a narcissist the whole time, that he does think he's God. So next time you're just in a little disagreement with someone, just whip that out. Just be like, yeah, but did you ever consider that I might be God and that I wouldn't let this happen? No, babe, we don't need a security system, because I'm God and I wouldn't let a burglar come into our home. All those ADT commercials I will into existence for others that are fake. It's just a mirage. It's to keep us all entertained. If it weren't for those ADT commercials, what else would we have in between the Big Bang Theory? That's my will. And then it started the line of thinking comes dangerous when then you start thinking, well, why am I not a millionaire? I've asked to win the Mega Millions multiple times. How come that hasn't happened? If I'm God, why have I not won the lottery? Then everything starts falling apart. Because theoretically, if I was God, I would have let myself win the lottery as of right now, and also be 600 pounds with gigantic hands. If I was God, that would be happening. Sadly, that's not my worldview at this point, is not a 600-pound millionaire. Do you think the Jeff Bezos wedding was 3 days long because he was trying to parent trap Bill and Melinda Gates to get back together? A 3-day event is pretty long, but if you invite the famous divorced billionaire Bill Gates and Melinda Gates, you might be able to get them to parent trap themselves into falling back in love. They go to a billionaire wedding. They realize, hey, we do still have a lot in common. Money. And then they go onto the yacht. They have a little foam party. They see each other having, like, kind of sitting in the corner. They both know that each other loves foam. If we know anything about Bill and Melinda Gates, they bonded over their love of foam and parties. So, people, they try to see each other across the room. They lock eyes, and then they start traversing through the foam. They get a little lost. They start, finding side characters in their story. They go up to, they see a couple of other billionaires, and they're like, hey, what's going on? Melinda's here? You should go talk to her. And then through the foam, they make a little tunnel. They end up finding each other. They lock eyes, and they're like, boy, do I miss going to foam parties with you and being rich, twice as much rich as I am right now. And they say, maybe we should get back together, because I remember how much fun we had going to foam parties and being rich together. And now that we're rich separately, but can't, not as much as not as much rich, it's not as much fun without you in my life. And they get back together. Their kids are all happy. They're like, Mom and Dad are finally back together. All because of Jeff Bezos and his parent trap situation, getting them onto a yacht to have a foam party together. That might be why it was a 3-day long wedding. He might just be a hopeless romantic. And he said, I think I can get Bill and Melinda back together. The party favors were just mathematical equations to show how much money you have together versus apart. It's like, take the equation is how much money you have over 2 equals half as much as you would have times 2. It's but that has been episode 154 of the Shower Party Podcast. I've been Liam Salvage. You've been you. You guys have a fun time out there. I hope you were driving safely and or watching safely from the comfort of your own home. Whatever you were doing, I hope you had fun doing it and listening to me ramble about billionaires and wanting to be fat with big hands and etc. I've been Liam Salvage. Tell a friend about how much fun Shower Party is. Please tell a friend. I'll see you guys next week.